What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Imperium of Rackuur. We are in the year 2012 or 2212, and we've done the first basically 10 to 12 years, walking through all of the various things that we're going to try to accomplish here early on in the game. We've got to focus on industry and building up our power infrastructure as well as our minerals. We're trying to colonize the planets around us as well as we can and expand in a meaningful and safe way. And by safe and meaningful, I mean we've built out our military relatively well. It looks like we can expand it a little bit more. We've defeated the pirates that sprang up early on in the game. And now it's just sort of tentatively pushing out into the areas around us and seeing kind of what happens. So just to get a quick recap, we are an alpine, let's see here. Where did I see that? I always have trouble finding that. All right, here we go. We have alpine preference, so we're looking for planets on the cold side of things. So there's tundra, and that's 60%. Looks like another tundra planet over here. Ooh, that's nice, 25 slots. We got some savanna and a tomb world that we can't quite colonize yet. Arctic world there. So we've got a lot of good opportunities here, and we can just keep expanding. We've got 5 colonizable systems. I'm going to get it started so we can make a little progress here. And let's see what the timed project is. All right. We're establishing communications with the subterranean civilization.
Complete.
And it looks like we're building some stuff up here as well, and building out our military, like we talked about. So let's check out the surface of the planets that we're working on. Once this population is done, it looks like we're going to be full up here unless we clear one of these little blockers. So I think I'm going to start by clearing the some of these that are non-food. I don't have anything else that's involving industry, so I'll clear that like so. And when that gets a little bit further along, I'll build a mining area there. So I've got power. I'm already at +2 on the food. So I guess I don't really need food, but might as well. We'll build a little bit of we'll build a farm there and get that going. And here we'll build a farm as well. All right, now we've got that queued up. Let's we'll speed things up a little bit. And still building out our armed forces. Let's see what technologies
System survey complete.
All right. Oh. We will continue to keep our scientists busy. Never an idle scientist. So we'll get that started again. Let's see where the other scientist is. All right, so they're down here. And we'll add another couple systems for them to develop. Now, this one's only got 3 stars. They're level 3. They both are level 3. Let's see. One of our probes burrowed through the ground and intercepted the tunneling aliens on Dathana Prime. Oh, good. After the startled alien workers calmed down, the probe was successful in establishing communications with their leaders. All right, we're opening a channel. Is this thing on? Can you see us, surfacers? We understand you hail from the great nothing that lies above, beyond the stone. It was assumed nothing living could exist there, but evidently this is not so. What are your intentions? Well, I don't want to click here, but I think I'm a pretty peaceful, materialistic group. We would kind of like to coexist in peace, and this gives us a society output bonus of 10%. So why don't we do that? Then so we shall, Surfacer. Let us share the world together in the spirit of peace. We would be most interested in trading with your people. I believe we have much to offer one another. We shall return to our cities and make the arrangements. Okay. News of alien ships humming through the ether have reached Rackuur in many ways, ending the first chapter in the book of Imperium of Rackuur's bid for a stellar empire. Great. All right. So, anyway, these science ships are level 3, and this requires, for research, this requires a level 5 or higher, and this requires level 4 or higher, so we can't really do anything about that. The other mission we're on here is for researching and finding habitable worlds.
Construction
looks like
complete.
our scientist just
Construction complete.
got level 4.
Anomaly found.
So we could send them immediately to... Well, why don't we add this to their queue? Let's see. No, that's level 5. There we go. So we'll just send them there once they've done this research here. It's not time sensitive, so we don't need to worry about that. We've got... let's see. Siluge 1 frequently experiences massive and extremely violent storm systems in its atmosphere. Several dozen persistent storms are visible from orbit, with winds often reaching speeds in excess of 700 meters per second. The cause of these storms is not immediately apparent, as we have found nothing in the planet's climate model that would explain them. Our scientists are interested in studying this anomaly. That's interesting. So by achieving that anomaly, we get this planet that we just researched or surveyed has a +3 to physics bonus, which is really nice. So some of these systems down here you can see are really stacked out and have great bonuses to them. So where is our... Looks like our construction ship is building up here. Looks like I need to send them down here next. But at some point in the near future, we should either try to populate here, or... Yeah, we'll need to figure out the best way to get over here and maybe even terraform. Right now we're
System survey complete.
researching a variety of useful technologies, but nothing that will
System
actually allow us
survey
to terraform. All right, so we've got a bunch of food being made now. Let's see. Making more power. We need to continue to push on power. We're only picking up 4 on each turn here. And let's see. As a general rule of thumb, if there are 3 of these mining networks on a planet, 3 or more, it makes sense to build one of these mineral processing plants. So I'll build that. And that's the same thing with the power nexus or whatever it is. So, yeah, we've got one power plant here, another power plant here, and another power plant here. So it makes sense to... They give bonuses. They give like 10% additional. Oh, our construction ship is idle, so we'll send them down here. And we're ready for a new tradition. That's great. Several xenoanthropologists from Rackuur have returned to the surface of Dathana Prime after spending a great deal of time living among the subterranean aliens native to that world. They have learned much about their ancient ways and customs, which will no doubt benefit our society research. That's great. So we just picked up a raw 130 points of society research. Now, I'm going to pause it and get to work here. I probably should have started in the expansion branch, but that's not what I did. So I'm going to try to finish this out because there are penalties to having more than one, I guess, branch of this tradition like being explored at any one time. So it would just make it even harder to get those. So I'm going to pick the building upkeep one next and move into expansion following that. So once we finish this, because I've got the expansion, I'll unlock an ascension perk, which is sort of a nice big boost there as well. So we'll just let that continue, and in another 10 years, we'll be able to pick another one. Yeah, hi Bailey. Yeah, we're the Imperium of Rackuur. So we're gonna stop at 2217. I guess it is. We ended at 2212. But once we finish with this, it'll start to make a lot of sense for us to build more gates and expand ourselves even further. This is a pretty small map, so I'm going to bump into somebody pretty quickly here. But we can get to work. This may... As I send this out, you may see my power drop because they're substantially more power conservative when they're docked at a station. And so just by undocking them, it'll use quite a bit more power.
Construction complete.
So I'm just using my military to explore like what's out there, and to get a little glimpse at the systems here. So once I've finished building like most of the industrial stations here, these mining stations, I'm going to go back and build out the research stations as well. So there's some society, there's some engineering, more society, engineering. And then building on my planets, I'm going to have to focus on I'm going to have to focus on power because I don't have a lot of power here. And the more I build, the more it will require to sort of run my empire. And since I've got some saved up, maybe I will clear that again as well. Alright, I've already built the solar panel network. I've been playing a number of other games. So just by sending my military here, I see that there's a planet in there, and looks like I haven't totally scanned it, but maybe that's my science ship showing that. But you can see that within the sensor range, you get to you get a little pickup and see what's there. So it gives you a glimpse into where you're about to go. All right, we're at 19. Let's build
Tile blocker cleared.
a few more to fill out our military.
Construction complete.
Construction is complete. That's good. We'll speed things up even further.
Anomaly found. Construction complete.
All right. All right, our construction ship is done, so we'll send them along and have them build research stations. Now, it might behoove me to populate another one of these worlds. So for my first step into this, I think that it probably makes the most sense for me to pick this one because it's in the same system as this other Dathana Prime, that it won't count as a second core system here. So I'll still have 3 once I populate this. So let's see what this says. Gigantic skeleton. What was previously thought to be assorted mountains in the southern hemisphere of Coder 4A have been identified as the massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Coder 4A could have supported life on that scale at any point in the moon's history. Science Officer Dekira has prepared a special research project to delve further into this mystery. That is fascinating. All right.
Situation log updated.
So we could investigate this with one of our scientists of skill
System survey
4 or
complete.
higher, or 3 or higher, which it just so happens we have. How handy is that? All right, so that's the derelict cruiser. This is the ancient satellite. I'm just gonna send them over here to do this. And let's see. So we were going to
Situation
populate
log
this.
updated.
We've encountered some form of alien vessels in the Nedum system. These strange objects have been flagged as Delta aliens until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. Now, see, notice how they're aggressive? So I've got my military of 406, and I would only barely be able to take them on right now. So it's going to flag this system as having, you know, these aliens in them, and then I'll be able to come back once I've got a little bit more. Now, it behooves us to do a little bit of research into them and see who they are and research them before they research us. Now, that's not so meaningful when it's just random pirates, because if you zoom in on them, you can sort of see, you know, that they're not another faction. Things that look like this are usually just pirate factions. So we're gonna fill out our military here and hopefully get a little bit more technology behind us, and, you know, build out our strength
System survey complete.
before we get into that. All right, so let's colonize this planet, and we will use Dathana Prime, and we'll drop our... So that just tells, all in one little window, you can colonize, pick the place, and then tell the station to build that colony ship. So that's going to be built.
Construction complete.
And we're going to continue to get notifications from here because these 3 corvettes are chasing down the main fleet. Alright, so we've got a desert world there. Now the overall habitability of a planet is important to note because that tells you, that has an effect on and limits the amount of happiness that can exist at any one point in time on that planet. So if I were to come here, we're habitable at 60%. I can only become 60% happy and productive on that planet until I terraform it in a way that, in a way that sort of makes it better for me. Let's see. Reports of deep space drones in certain systems have been investigated. The drones appear to be the workers and custodians of an autonomous orbital mining operation established millennia ago and then soon abandoned by all but the drones themselves, judging by the state of the processing equipment. The drones seem to lack any diplomatic comms protocols, at least any decipherable by the Imperium of Rackuur, and react with hostility to Mythfell ships entering the system. Their presence in the Rackuur system is intriguing, and we should attempt to learn more about them. Okay.
Situation log updated.
So there's mining drone observation. Yeah, what the hell? So notice that our power took a hit. It's going to take an even bigger hit once this colony ship comes out, like we've seen previously. A new faction was founded and shows up here. They've been gaining traction. They're led by scientist Rebic, and they call themselves the Association of Scientific Betterment. Alright, so let's see what these guys want. They want traditions of discovery, so they'll become happier once I get into this branch of the traditions. And I'm not gonna like limit any of these early on because I need the influence. So I'm just gonna let it ride. There's a lot of good stuff going on over here. I'm looking forward to getting onto that tundra world. So I want to make sure that I'm getting as much. Looks like I bumped into somebody here. Well, I'll get into that in a second. Let's see who they are. Alright, so this is an indication of an actual other faction. So we'll come over here and we'll get to investigating them right away. So that's good to know. So if they're there, I need to maybe move on to this earlier than I want. But if I get into the traditions, there is one of these ascension perks is geared towards terraforming planets. Like either terribly cheaply or taking 0 time to do so. So it's important to, like, I'm sort of saving up for it. So there's another great tundra world. There's a great tundra world. And they're great because they've got a lot of, that 25 and 23. They've got a lot of area to sort of colonize and move into. So I'm going to bring this population up here, and I'm going to build. I really need power.
Construction complete.
But I'm going to build one of those. Another new faction called the Peaceful Advancement Foundation. That's fine. We can go and see what they're up to. We'll build a research station there.
Special project complete.
Alright, special project completed. After continued studies of the massive skeletal remains found on Coder 4A, Science Officer Paquita has concluded that the creature served as some kind of organic starship. Much smaller bones from at least 3 separate species were found within the larger skeleton, and we assume these came from members of the crew. For unknown reasons, this organic starship suffered catastrophic damage and crash-landed on Coder 4A. While we cannot begin to understand the biological engineering necessary to, quote, grow a starship like this, the study of these bones alone have substantially advanced our knowledge. That's great. So Coder 4A gets even more scientific background there, and that's great. I've got my... I'll just continue the surveys that are going on here. And
special project complete.
Alright, so there's... After successfully translating their language, we've established communications with the Valmanax Assembly. Diplomatic channels are now open and all hostilities have been terminated. That's great. So it's important to look at these and see how they line up with your own. So I don't remember what mine are, unfortunately, and I think by clicking on this, I'll pop that off. Oh, no. Okay, good. All right, so we are fanatic materialist, much like they are, only we're pacifists. So by responding in this way, we may... One of these two ways, it's sort of appealing to their same philosophy. Throw away your old ways. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like peace, reaching out in peace. Well, let's try it. All right. The way forward lies in our hands. The news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time has been received with mixed feelings by our populace. This confirms that what we had long suspected. We are not alone in this galaxy. Each new alien species we encounter represents both an opportunity and a threat. We must be wary. These particular Xenos have a level of technology similar to our own, indicating that we achieved spaceflight at roughly the same time. Okay, well that's good to know. And they're expanding pretty quickly. So what I may want to do then is colonize this planet promptly. And I'll drop my ship there. And I say that because they may also populate this kind of planet, and because this is so close to their borders, I can't inhabit that, otherwise it'll make them angry. And we can see our neighbors and how they view us here. So they're xenophobes. So they that takes off 20, but they're materialists like we are, so that picks up 25. So this shows their relationships with other folks. They're relative to us, they're being slated as inferior, but they've got equivalent technology, naval capacity, and fleet power. So I'm not sure how realistic that estimate is. So the colony ship is on its way to the first... Actually, we should send them... Yeah, we'll let them colonize there. And then we'll just go on from there. So we'll get the clock ticking again. And we will just go from there. Our ruler is leveled up and gained an eye for talent. That's
Special
good.
project complete.
When not posturing with their mining lasers aimed at Mythval ships, the drones appear steadfast and dumbly hard-working, hacking away at mineral-poor asteroids for want of something better to do. What is more interesting is that the drones are not completely silent, contrary to earlier assumptions. They emit signal pings, though extremely infrequently and at a wavelength hard to isolate from background noise. If there is anyone left to receive these pings, may be a mystery for another time. All right, so by choosing this, because I'm a pacifist, it gives me access to the droning optimizations edict. Now, I can come over here and check out the policies and edicts. Improved energy is an interesting one. Droning optimizations gives 10% more minerals. And then we've got a number of other options here worth exploring. So,
Construction complete.
since we've got an excess of 4, I figure if you're over 2, you can sort of explore some of these without, without any real repercussions. So that's 4, and they're level 4, so that's good.
Construction complete.
All right, we really need power. And I'm going to have to just build a basic power plant here.
Anomaly found.
Yeah, go ahead and research it. Yeah, see, I'm going to get a big boost from power from these options
System
here,
survey
but I
complete.
can't clear it yet until I finish this, which is going to happen in 9 months, and this, which happens in 8. So those will complete at the same time, and then hopefully I'll be able to sort of get that powering my nation. The crater on C399 exhibits long, irregular marks imprinted into the relatively soft upper layers of the asteroid. Science Officer Paquita has recovered some interesting, unexpected wreckage from the edges of the depression. Wheeled vehicles, seemingly personal transports rather than research craft. The crew of the ISS non-conforming hatchling speculate that the crater may once have been used for sport, with some alien species pitting their personal locomotion devices against each other in tests of mechanical strength or speed in near zero G. So that's pretty interesting. So that adds skid marks to C399. And these are all just additional bonuses to... Alright, so at least we got our military back and orbiting. That's good. That saves us power, although we're in the negative right now, so... And to try to overcome that, I'm going to swap these two.
Complete.
So this one, since I don't really need the food, I'll try to put the... Yeah, put these folks where they would benefit us most. Yeah, we're just going to have to suffer for a little bit here. And it's not going to help when the construction ship finishes that one. What we really need... Yeah, we're not gonna find power. We really need that research to complete. So the construction ship is here. I'm going to move it up here and have it build a wormhole. We're nearing the end of this little play session here, but getting into some of these resources would be really good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this far and get that close to them. But alright, a large group of refugees from the underground alien empire on Dathana Prime recently streamed out of their tunnels onto the surface, chased by a small army. They are apparently part of some sort of religious minority and claim to be fleeing persecution. If we let them join our colonists on the surface, it will no doubt anger the rulers of the empire they fled from. However, if we let the pursuing army take them back underground, they will likely face mass execution. Yeah. I feel like we have to let them join us. We're good peacocky people. Yeah. All right. Well, so that may negatively, or it does negatively impact our relationship with the underground race there, but we'll just have to deal with that. So notice that we can hover over this and see what the alien hostile strength is. Alright, we're wrapping up here, and that's it. So thanks for watching. We'll get into more of this in the next time, and it looks like we've got a couple storylines to explore. We've got this subterranean race that's living underneath one of our cities. We just encountered another alien faction that's traveling the stars, and we have yet to see how that unfolds. And yeah, so this was fun. Thanks for joining me. I always get a kick out of Stellaris, and if you have any questions about it, by all means let me know, and I'll try to answer them in the comments, or maybe I'll make a video. I don't know. Either way, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.